The City of Quincy Board of License Commissioners meeting, March 9th, 2021 at 4 p.m. I will read the open meeting law into the record. In accordance with Governor Charles D. Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law 30A, Section 20, the Board of License Commissioners will convene via remote conference and services on Tuesday, March 9th, 2021 at 4 p.m., airing on Quincy Access Television, QATV on Channel 9, QATV 9 Government Access. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. And Sue, if you could please call the roll.
Ms. DeCristofaro?
Present.
Director Duca?
Present.
Chief Jackson?
Present.
Chief Keenan? We see him there. And Clerk Crispo?
Present. We do have a full board this afternoon, so I will go ahead and start with agenda item number 1. Hearing regarding the request of J. Shiv Chris Corp. for a change of doing business as from Atlas Liquor to Curtis Liquor on the all alcohol beverage package store license at 659 to 665 Adams Street. Attorney Matthew Porter. Hi, Attorney Porter. If you wouldn't mind just giving us an overview of what you're doing at Atlas Liquor.
Sure, be happy to. I'm having a hard time getting my video to work, but hopefully you can hear me okay. This is a very straightforward application. Our clients bought Atlas Liquors, I guess a little over a year ago now, maybe even a little bit less. They've been operating there, and these owners also own Curtis Liquors down in Cohasset and in Weymouth, and so they're looking to just rebrand with some other well-known stores on the South Shore. So just a change of the DBA from the Atlas Liquors to Curtis Liquors.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions, concerns from anyone on the Zoom meeting? Seeing none. Board members, any questions or concerns with Atlas Liquor going to Curtis Liquor for the all beverage package store license at 659, 665 Adams Street? Seeing none.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of J. Shiv Chris Corp. for a change of DBA from Atlas Liquors to Curtis Liquors on the all alcoholic beverages package store license at 659-665 Adams Street, represented by Attorney Matthew Porter.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Take care.
Agenda item number 2, hearing to reconsider the suspension of the all alcohol beverage license issued to the Crack Pub, 536 Washington Street, owner Stephen Kelly. On December 8th, this board voted to suspend the license of the Crack until the start of Phase 4. On February 25th, Mr. Kelly wrote a letter to the board asking the board to reconsider the suspension. I distributed the letter to the board for their reconsideration. Board members, if there are any questions, concerns? Seeing none.
I have none. Madam Clerk, I see no reason to rehash anything that we talked about the last meeting, and I appreciate the letter. Therefore, I'd like to make a motion to reconsider the suspension of the all alcoholic beverage restaurant license issued to the Crack Pub, 536 Washington Street, and ask to consider that it be rescinded.
Looking for a second on the motion.
Second.
Okay, Sue, if you could please do a roll call vote.
Absolutely. Mr. Christopherow on the motion.
No.
Director Duca.
Yes.
Chief Jackson.
Yes.
Chief Keenan. Oh, you're on mute, Mr. Chief Keenan.
Yeah.
That a thumbs up for a yes, just as we can't hear you. I think it was a yes on the motion from Chief Keenan. Chair Crispo,
Yes.
4 in favor of the motion to lift the suspension.
Thank you very much. You'll be all set, Mr. Kelly, to reopen the Crack Pub going forward. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. What's the effective date of this? Is it phase 4 or is he able to open immediately?
Nope, we just took the vote to reconsider so it was a positive a positive recommendation to reconsider the suspension. So Mr. Kelly is able to open the pub effective immediately.
Thank you. And we do have 2 pending appeals at the ABCC. Those will be withdrawn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Kelly, this is Susan. You can pick up your licenses at the clerk's office tomorrow. Does that work for you?
That's fine. Can I I spoke with my lawyer. I'm just curious I know Ms. Jones is retired. I was gonna, as before I'm in the cleaning up the bar and I know things have changed and they change rapidly. I was going to call the health department. I was planning on building like dividers and things. I mean, I was never required to or asked to in the past from the health department, but I was going to do it anyways, just so there's no any further complications on that end of things on my end and the city's end. I did have a question, and I know it probably will come out eventually. Of everybody talks about music. From what I understand, music starts phase 4. Inside last year, phase 4, when it started, like around Labor Day, the health department came in, measured. Obviously, I had the distance. I asked if I needed to build an enclosure around. Like I know there's no dancing allowed of that nature, but if there was, I know we're not allowed to have at the time not more than 1 to maybe 2 players. I wouldn't probably have it any more than that anyway. I would like to see if I could talk to Mr. Anderson, who was in the health department in the past. After tomorrow, after I'm done cleaning up, to have him maybe come in before I set everything up. Just to make sure everything's, because I just don't want to get a yes from someone and a no from someone else, ma'am.
I understand your concerns, and we can certainly work with the health department on that, but I just want to let you know that you can have music, just not singing at this point.
I agree with that. Now, does that change phase 4 though?
It's unclear at this point. There has not been a lot of detail regarding phase 4. So quite frankly, I can't answer that right now. It's hoped that there will be less restrictions come phase 4, which is scheduled for March 22nd.
Correct.
But again, the details of what will be allowed have not been forthcoming from the state as of yet. So okay. The answer is until we get word from the state that say singing is allowed, we go with the existing guidelines, which are music only and no singing.
No singing. So yeah, because from what I understand, I mean, until the state figures whatever it out, I mean, phase 4 was singing, no dancing at the time. I mean, that was from last a Labor Day ballpark, top of my head, when we were in phase 4 for a little while. That's when I was. But I also want to know if that happens. I offered to build, like I said, or put an enclosure in front of people that were singing. I was told I didn't have to.
That's not currently allowed. The regulations say that a barrier, a physical barrier, cannot be put in place. of the required currently 25 feet from the entertainer to the first row of the audience. Even in
So no barrier needed, long as
no barrier, but again, you've got to have the 25-foot clearance
Oh, yes, no, I
From the
mean, I do, I mean,
entertainer.
yes,
to your first seat.
yes. I understand that. I just wanted to make sure if it doesn't matter if, even if because I mean, I have the distance. I just wasn't sure if it mattered, even if I went a little extra procedure. And because it's all
There's
about barriers to a degree, that if I put something in, just a piece of plexiglass in front of somebody that I've seen at other establishments, that's what they've done. And I'm just curious, would it matter or not?
It really would not, because regardless, you would have to maintain the 25-foot distance.
Okay,
And that's the only requirement.
okay, I just, yeah.
Entertainers themselves have to maintain 10-foot distance between each person up on stage or in whatever, spot that they're performing. And then 25 feet from that point to the first customer.
So we won't know about live music until the state clarifies things, I guess?
Again, live music, it can include music only, but singing, we're going to have to wait till we get more guidance from the state, because they have not expressly indicated whether it will be allowed at what phase of phase 4.
Okay, and I guess my other question, not to ask too many. I do what they call Sunday trad sessions. It's instrumental Sunday sessions in the pub. It's usually there's no singing, and there can be, but it's usually just instrumental. Is something like that allowed?
Again, as long as you comply with the guidelines, the 25-foot, the 10-foot per entertainer from the other, say there's 2 people, they have to be 10 feet apart from each other and 25 feet from the first customer. Singing, obviously, regardless of whether it's a jam session or whatever, singing is not allowed.
Okay, and I remember in the past, just to ask I was told that at one point if 2 singers either lived in the same household, I was told by the health department that if they lived in the same household at one time, that they didn't need the distance. I just want to know if that rule still exists.
I would have to check that and get back to you, Stephen. I can talk to our inspectors. I can get it. I should have an answer for you tomorrow.
Mr. Kelly, I might suggest that you call the health department and maybe meet someone at the establishment. And if you have any questions on site, it'd probably be easier for one of the inspectors to answer them for you.
That was my goal.
Yep.
That was my goal.
Perfect.
And we can definitely get that scheduled.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
In other business, I wanted to cite for the record and provide the following update on a violation for Reg's Tavern at 375, 377 Washington Street. On the evening of February 11th, 2021, Lieutenant Peter Turowski visited Reg's Tavern and found multiple violations of COVID-19 safety standards in the restaurant. Lieutenant Turowski issued a detailed report to me and Chief Keenan. The owners of Reg's Tavern were notified of the violations. They were issued a verbal warning, and the establishment was brought back to full COVID compliance. So just for the record, they are with a verbal warning at this time. If something should happen in the future, we will have them in for a hearing before us. Looking for a motion to waive the reading and approve minutes of the previous hearing.
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And our next meeting will be March 23rd, 2021. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Take care, all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.